come back in your own zone, but at least that's going to kill some time. And I'm sure that right now Kevin Constantine is contemplating calling a timeout.
Dave King called Kelly Kishio over to talk things over with him. Now Kishio goes back, and timeout is called by the Sharks. Trevor Kidd over on the Flames bench.
Unless the Flames tie this one up, his work day is over.
Well, his chance to start might be over too, as the Flames may turn to Rick Tabaracci. It's hard to say, but right now Kidd is not going to figure in this game any longer unless the Flames are able to tie it. And there is Trevor Kidd, the playoff rookie, 21 years of age, 22 rather, and native of Dugald, Manitoba. 25 saves, but he's been lit up for 9 goals in 2 games by the Sharks.
Well, he's the rookie that the Flames decided to go with this year. He had a good regular season, 22 wins. He was second best in the league, tied with Eddie Balfour. Kenny Reagan of Pittsburgh was the leader amongst goalkeepers with wins with 25. And well, they're going to stay with Makarov and Larionov, Baker, Rathje, and Jason Moore will be the guys defending here with just a little over 1 minute to go in regulation.
The shot's very close. The Sharks with a 1-shot advantage. And that's also their advantage in this game. A 1-goal lead as we're down to a minute 1. And again, the Flames win the faceoff, 3rd straight. Zalapski has shot. That just missed. Rebound. And Titoff couldn't get his backhand shot off. Here's Housley over to Zalapski. Shot tip. Rebound in front.
Calgary just able to get control of the puck off these face-offs, and just as we say, they shoot it towards the net, and there it slid right around, and it looks like Reichel's the one who's going to get credit for tying this thing up. And puck coming back to the point to Housley, and there's the one-timer by Zalapski, and a backhand shot right along the ice by Reichel, and it finds its mark. Shot Zalapski right there. Urbe is down, now the shot, and as Urbe's going down, that Reichel shot goes right between his legs, and 46 seconds to go. We've got ourselves a 4-4 hockey game.
Robert Reichel, maligned for not scoring in game 1, had a goal disallowed in the 2nd period, ties the game at 19-13, an extra skater goal for the Calgary Flames. So stick around, everybody. If this thing is 4-4 in 46 seconds, we will take a break and play a full 20-minute sudden death overtime.
Play until somebody wins, but there's still enough time on the clock here for something to happen.
Ozelinch up along the boards, gave it away to Joe Otto. And Otto misfiring. Here's Dahlin with 33 to go. Up to Friesen at center ice. Now to Miller. Back to Friesen. And it's just poked into Trevor Kidd. Here's Friesen behind the net. Centers it. Shot. Saved by Kidd. Still 20 seconds to go. Here's Jim Kite. And he fanned on it. Gets it back. Kite again. In front. And it goes through the crease. 10 seconds left. Ozelinch with the steal. Here's Sandus down the left wing. 7 seconds. 6. He's hauled down. No penalty. We are going to go to overtime. The Calgary Flames tie it up with under a minute to go. The Sharks almost win it down at the other end. What a thrilling end to regulation, Pete.
Well, they're going to resurface, and teams will go in and then come out for the sudden death overtime. Jim Kite is questioning the referee about something over there. It might have been held up when that shot, but I'll tell you, that last minute of play had everything in it, all kinds of dramatics, and the Calgary Flames were able to pull it out and get that tying goal. Housley Zalapski getting the assist at 19:13 here in the third period.
And the third period scoring had Kelly Kissio making it 3-3 with his first from Titoff. But the Sharks came back at 8:42. Oseland's second of the game from Friesen to put the Sharks in a 4-3 lead until 19:13. And with Kidd out for an extra skater, Robert Reichel got his first of the series. Housley and Zalapski getting the assists. We will take a full intermission, followed by overtime until somebody wins. 4-4. We'll be back. Welcome back live. That's the Olympic Saddle Dome here in Calgary, Alberta. Nobody's leaving this place. Over 16,000 are going to stay right where they are. Hope you will too. We're going to sudden death overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 2 of this Western Conference quarterfinal series. The Sharks and the Calgary Flames in a 4-4 tie. Randy Hahn along with Pete Stemkowski. Well, Pete, for the second time in their brief playoff history, the Sharks are going to overtime. Little unlucky break for them there, but you got to give Calgary credit. They persevered right down to the wire.
Well, they pulled their goalkeeper. There was 3 faceoffs deep inside the Shark zone, and they weren't able to come up with any one of them. And after you lose a draw, the other team has the puck there on offense, and what they did is they passed the puck around very effectively, got it towards the net, and of course Reichel, who's a sniper for the Calgary Flames, was in the right spot, and he was able to put it past Artur Zerbe, and here we go into overtime.
In the situation the Sharks were in, you've got to think the fatigue factor maybe works a little bit in Calgary's favor, because the Sharks are trying to hang on to that lead, and Calgary are a little juiced by the fact that they know they have to get a goal here to maybe even survive this series if they go down 0-2.
Yeah, there's no question that goal really pumped up the Calgary Flames. We're going to see in overtime what effect it had on the San Jose Sharks. They came back, had a couple of good scoring opportunities there in the last 30 seconds, but you know, when you talk about the fatigue factor, I think the guys on one side look at the guys on the other side and says, hey, we've both been going at it for the same amount of time, so if I'm tired, so is the other guy over on the other side. So this is the most exciting part of this game, is overtime. So somebody on either side of the ice is going to be a hero before this one is over.
Darren Fleury talked a big game before this game, saying how he would personally, individually win this thing for Calgary if he had to, lead his team through this playoff series, and he clearly predicted that they would win this best-of-7 affair one way or the other. He was very active in that last minute and almost had a chance to tie it up before the eventual tying goal.
Yeah, well, you know, he's one of those players. He's one of the main guys for the Calgary Flames. He's a money player. Got to watch him. Reichel, who's been very quiet. Housley, very effective for the Calgary Flames. But, you know, the Sharks got some weapons also. Got to be cautious in overtime, but you still got to be aggressive. Got to play your game defensively. Don't let anything cheap. Don't make any mistakes to give the other team a good scoring opportunity. Yet, you get some loose pucks and you got some open ice. Got to go for it because, as we mentioned, one shot's going to win this whole thing.
And to that point, Pete, I think the Sharks played that third period very well. Despite giving up the lead in the last minute, they didn't just fall back. They didn't just drop behind the blue line and let the Flames come at them. They kept pressuring Trevor Kidd down at the other end.
Yeah, you know, that puck takes its strange bounces. You know, Randy, it's in front of the net. A guy goes to swipe at it, can't get it, and it falls at somebody's feet. And, you know, it's a game of inches. You can get it out of your zone, get it over the red line, and dump it in. And, you know, that last 45 seconds or so, we had, what, 2 or 3 face-offs deep inside the zone. If you can win one of those draws, bank it against the boards and get it down, hopefully you can run out the clock. But the Sharks were backed up. Give the Flames credit. They were very effective. They got the puck towards the net and were able to get that tying goal.
All right, we are in the intermission between the third period and our first overtime. Well, we want to remind you about the Sharks schools that are coming up. It's time to enroll. They're about to start mid-June. The Sharks one-week sessions, 2 of them for ages of players ranging from 5 to 17, taught by some of the nation's best instructors, as well as several of the Sharks players. Space is limited, though, so call now to enroll for the Sharks Summer Hockey Schools. Call 408-999-5844. 4-4 is also our score as we get set for overtime here in Calgary. We'll be back on 36 KICU as we get set for sudden death overtime here in Game 2 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. It's the Sharks 4 and the Calgary Flames 4. And we are now joined by Sharks rookie forward Sean Donovan, who was called up earlier today by the Sharks, along with Vlasti Krupa from the Sharks' top developmental affiliate, the Kansas City Blades in the IHL. And Sean, pretty entertaining hockey game that you're witnessing here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, I thought the Sharks had it right at the end, but Calgary came back and scored. But it's been an exciting game so far.
Sharks really persevered all game long. And actually, I know you didn't get the benefit of seeing game one, but they certainly haven't played a bad period in this entire series so far, and they've been pretty steady all night tonight.
Yeah, they've been pretty good tonight. You know, lots of players are coming through. You always got the playoff players like Jamie Baker. He's playing awesome, and you know, there's lots of great players on this team, and they're all playing. They're coming together right now. It's pretty exciting to watch.
All right, Sean, let's talk about what you're right in the middle of, and that's the IHL playoffs. In fact, you have gone to the conference finals by virtue of your elimination of Peoria, and you're waiting around now for the Kalamazoo-Cincinnati series to end up, right?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, winning the playoffs this year, and we're expected to win, so it's fun because we're just no pressure on us, and we're lucky we keep on winning. So it's lots of fun down there playing.
How much ice time are you getting, and who are you playing with down there?
I get quite a bit of ice time. Right now, I was playing last game with Dodie Wood at center and Victor Kozlov. They're both playing really good, so it's a fun line to be on right now.
Dodie Wood was one of the stars of the series earlier on, got a hat trick in that deciding game in the opening series at Detroit. Sounds like he's having a good playoff.
Yeah, he is. You know, he's known for his fighting and stuff, but he's chipping in with points now, and he's playing really good. He's, you know, playing penalty killing and some power plays, doing good for the team.
Sean, you started the year during the lockout playing in junior hockey. How do you compare the level now of the IHL compared to what you were involved in junior hockey?
Well, it's a lot higher, you know. It's just a step down from the NHL, you know. Maybe it's not as quick or passes aren't as crisp or on the tape, you know. But still, it's very good hockey. It's a good league to grow in.
Sean, I know you'd like to go all the way in the IHL and win the Turner Cup Championship if you can, but if the season ends prematurely for you, I would expect some of you guys are going to be coming up here, and I bet you'd love a chance to play in the NHL playoffs if that still works out.
Yeah, that's my dream, you know, to play for San Jose, especially in the playoffs. So I'll just try to go as far as we can in Kansas City, and just, you know, if San Jose goes longer than us and come here and maybe, you know, maybe there'll be a chance. Who knows?
Sean, congratulations on a great playoff with the Blades, and best of luck the rest of the way. Hopefully you can bring a championship home.
Thanks a lot.
Sharks rookie forward Sean Donovan, our guest here, and hey, maybe Sean will be on the cruise. Sean Cronin will be, Jason Moore will be, Jeff Odgers. Why not Sean Donovan? See if we can get you a ticket for this cruise, Sean. It's coming up in August. A week-long affair from August 20th to 27th, and you are invited to join the Sharks. There'll be a free hockey clinic on board, Sharks parties, and a non-stop buffet where you'll probably meet Pete Stemkowski. And if you order now and book a cabin, you'll get a free vacation to Las Vegas. Call 1-800-244-9669 to join the Sharks cruise. The skyline of downtown Calgary, it's alive tonight with the Flames trying to stay alive, tied 4-4. San Jose Arena pregame show starting at 7. Game 3 action at 7:30. The Sharks and Flames, Game 3 Thursday on Sports Channel. Right now, we are still in the midst of Game 2. 3 periods are done. The Sharks and the Calgary Flames in a 4-4 tie. We get set to go to Stanley Cup playoff overtime, and Pete, I don't think there's anything more exciting than that.
Well, you know, Randy, I think anybody wearing a jersey out there at one time in his life has had a dream of scoring the winning goal in a playoff game, and that's going to come true to one of those players down there tonight.
Sharks have only been in one playoff game before in the playoffs. That was against Toronto, a game they lost when Mike Gartner scored, as you'll recall. But let's look back at the highlights of a very exciting third period.
Well, there were 3 goals scored in that period. You're going to see Romain Titov coming in. He's going to throw the puck in front of the net. Kelly Kissio is there. As he is going down, he just swats at that loose puck, and that one crosses the red line. Kissio getting that goal. Now the Sharks are going to be breaking out on a 2-on-1. Here comes Jeff Friesen down the left side. He's got Sandis Ozolinsh with him. Perfect soft pass, gets it right on the stick of Ozolinsh. He just one-times it past Kidd, and that gives the Sharks and the lead. And then everything breaks loose here at the end as the Flames are able to get control from the face-off with the man advantage. Goalkeeper out, shot by Zalapski in front of the net, and there's Robert Reichel about 6-7 feet out. That puck right at his stick, and he was able to shoot that one into the net, and that's where we are right now with a tie hockey game heading into overtime.
And the game stats through 3 periods brought to you by Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. The Sharks and Flames with 29 shots each. Calgary with a slight edge in scoring chances. The Sharks have the only power play goal of the game on 5 shots. A grand total of 30 penalty minutes in the game so far. All right, Pete, we rarely get this chance, so we'll ask you for your prediction of the game-winning goal in overtime.
Well, you already beat me to the punch. I mean, you asked me off camera. You told me, who's going to get it. Quickly, you answered with Jeff Friesen. I'm going to take Pat Falloon. I think he's got the hot stick, and I think he's going to get the chance, and he's going to put it in. I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but you got Friesen, I got Falloon.
All right, we're on the record for that at the very least. This would be a tremendous lift for the San Jose Sharks, Pete, if they can win this in overtime, because I don't know if it would be the crushing blow. It's a little premature to say that, but if they were able to win this game, this would put Calgary in a real tough spot.
Well, obviously this game means a lot more to the Calgary Flames, because if they lose both their home games, they're not going to have a lot of life heading into the San Jose Arena down 2-0. So it's important for both teams, obviously, but I think at this point it means a lot more to the Calgary Flames.
And the Calgary Flames would hear it from their media here. The media here in Calgary, especially the print media, is so one-dimensional in that when the Calgary Flames lose, they are heaped upon with criticism. When they win, they are almost godlike, and there seems to be no middle ground. So as you said, for so many reasons, so much is in the balance here for the whole franchise.
Well, there's contracts are up. The general manager's contract is. All the coaching staff's contracts are up. So, there's an awful lot riding on the success of the Calgary Flames this year.
Players are coming back out onto the ice. The city of Calgary awaits. The city of San Jose and the Sharks fans all over wait. We're set for overtime. We'll be back. Exactly a year ago that the Sharks last played an overtime playoff game, and we are set for the second in their history as Artur Zerbe has settled in the goal to our left. Trevor Kidd for Calgary, and there's the overtime records for both these teams. Both teams with a win. Calgary played in a whole lot more, 9 total to the Sharks 5. We're underway with sudden death. Here's Jamie Baker down the right wing for the Sharks. Pulls up, shoots, and he shot it high. Jim Kite goes back for the Sharks. Ozelich to Pat Falloon. Now Falloon carries across center ice with room at the blue line. Tripped up from behind by Chason. Sharks trying to hold it in. Baker after it as Zalewski falls. And Zalewski will smother it as he goes to the boards and the whistle blows.
Well, 35 seconds here into overtime. Both teams who make quick line changes here. Makarov, Whitney, and Larionov coming up. And once again, it's Stern and Titoff and Sheldon Kennedy, the guys that have been matched up against that Larionov line for the majority of the third period. They're out there right now with this face-off deep inside the Flame zone.
Ray Whitney stands in to take the face-off against German Titoff for the Calgary Flames. Flames win the draw. Here's Sheldon Kennedy. Held in at the point, and a blast by Peterson goes wide.
I think Whitney may have just got a piece of that one and didn't miss by much.
Here's Peterson again, dumps it in from center ice. Sharks having the upper hand in at least the first minute of the extra period. Rathje getting in the way of Titoff. And now Gauthier was in the middle of all that, and quickly Paul Dvorsky decides to blow the whistle. Doesn't want his linesman to get in the midst of all those swinging sticks and skate blades. There's Rathje, who's continued to have a strong game on defense for the Sharks.
We played 1 minute and 3 seconds, and already the third line change. And what a learning experience for Mike Rathje, who just turned 21 years of age and not a lot of NHL experience. Getting to play in crucial situations like that, that's going to help him tremendously along the way.
And it's shot in from center ice. And now comes back this way. Jason Moore falls. Irbe will play it back out across the blue line. Forced back in by the Flames. They'll have to clear out of the zone, though. Here's Jason Moore. And Dolan will tip it ahead. Actually, Mike Rathje will have his 21st birthday the day after tomorrow.
Well, that's what I said. He's 21.
I thought you said he just turned 21.
Wow. Good to turn 21.
Let's have a party for him.
You're so picky.
Here's Friesen with the touch-up on the icing. And that'll bring it back down into the Calgary zone. And we played under 2 minutes. Well, there's the all-time playoff overtime records that these two teams possess. Calgary has played in a bunch of them, 25. This is their 26th. They're 11-14 in overtime in the playoffs. And the Sharks 0-1. And we all remember that Mike Gartner goal in Game 6 last year against Toronto. Calgary's last overtime appearance in 91 when Theoren Fleury got the winner. That was their last win against the Oilers.
They were in the last three games of their playoffs last year. All went to overtime, and they lost them all to Vancouver.
Sharks with the puck. Here's Ozolin. He has 2 goals tonight. Sandus comes through the middle. Gives to Pat Falloon on his off wing. Dished back for Ozolin. Here's Rathje. Shot wide, comes off the boards. And Kidd smothers it as Pat Falloon tried to jam it through.
Well, that's my man. Rathje, who shot that puck and just missed. It came bouncing up, and it had been lodged just up against the net somewhere. And Pat Falloon did take a swipe at it. Here's Rathje unwinding, shooting that puck, and going to go wide and just roll right there. And look at Falloon, who's coming in from that corner, and he just tried to sneak it through the legs there of Trevor Kidd, but couldn't find the hole.
Pat Falloon from Fox Warren, Manitoba. As we take a look over on the Sharks bench, now it's Whitney and Tedop again to face it off in the Calgary zone. We're in sudden death overtime, Game 2. This is Ronnie Stern. Has Tedop on his left. Tedop goes after the puck in the corner. Larionov trying to advance. It didn't get good wood. It comes back to him, and now Moore picks it up. Jason Moore gets it out over the line. Sent back in by Stern. Peterson dishing off to Larionov. Igor with Sergei and Whitney. The pass. Back to Larionov. Saved by Kidd. And it dropped right down in the crease. And Larionov, I think, fooled Kidd a little bit there. I think he expected one more pass.
Well, I think what Larionov did is just to try to just get it quickly. Didn't get much on it, but I think he was trying to get it through the legs of Kidd. Here's Makarov with the puck. Quickly gives it to Igor. Igor, luckily, just fires it. I think those legs were open for a split second there, and I think Larionov took a look at that, and that's where he was trying to put it. And here's Makarov back to Larionov. There's the shot. Legs are open, and boom, he just closes them right at the opportune time.
Off the draw now, it's Housley for Calgary. Knocked down by Fleury. Kelly Kissio gives to Robert Reichel. He tees it up and shoots high, but it's offside.
Reichel, Fleury, and he's the man who tied it up late at 19:13 of this third period to force this into the extra session.
Reichel from Most, Czechoslovakia, which is the same hometown as Lasty Krupa.
Yep, the oxygen over there on the Sharks bench.
Being administered by Dave Gray of the Sharks medical staff. Trying to help the players recover a little more quickly with some oxygen. Here's Ulf Dahlin now for the Sharks. Tries to send it ahead for Kevin Miller. Broken up. Here's Fleury at the blue line. He has Reichel with him. Stripped of the puck as Dahlin has it again. Plays it up for Friesen. He's occupied by Dan Kesmer. Housley ahead as Kissio just stepped off. The pass was intended for him. Paul Cruz goes after it. Now Ozolin's in the corner. Bangs it up the boards for Dahlin with Friesen. Here's Jeff Friesen at center ice. Friesen with Miller. Friesen down the left side. Taken out by Zalapski. Now Zalapski checks Friesen as Kevin Miller centers it, but right to Steve Chason. Theoren Fleury to center ice for Calgary. Comes across the line, waits, shoots, and that's up in the crowd. And we'll wait for the decision on where to set this down. See if it came off a shark stick last. I think it did.
It did. It's going to be about 7 or 8 feet inside the blue line there. And there you see a situation where Dahlin was on the ice and Friesen. Makarov came off the bench. The puck was deep inside the Flame zone. Friesen and Dahlin were already there. Makarov came on the ice. He stayed up by the blue line. He wasn't going to get in there too close, just in case the Flames were able to get the puck out and get caught. They are not going to get 3 guys caught. They're going to have that one man coming back all the time to help out that defense.
Here's Zalapski. Shot it wide. Held in, chase on, into the glove of Irbe and out again as Rafchi gives to Peterson. We've played 4 minutes of overtime. 4-4 the score here in Calgary. Game 2 on the line here. Golapski pushing it to the corner. Makarov waits for it. Tried to fight off the check but couldn't. Now it's Titov with Ronnie Stern. Titov gets away from Larionov. Rafchi back there. Can't chop it out of the zone. Gets another opportunity here at the side of the net. The Sharks momentarily lose it. Now Makarov plays it right into Stern. But Calgary looking for a line change here, and they'll take this opportunity. Rafchi wants to change too, and he'll dump it in.
Yeah, both teams have a minute. Skate, get it up, get it off. Get some fresh people out there.
Jay Moore playing it ahead to the blue line. A collision there. Kesmer with the puck. He'll get it up to Nylander. Fleury set to step on for Calgary. Here's a steal for the Sharks. Here's Janney. Pulls up and gives it away to Fleury. A breakaway for Reichel, but Irbe makes a nice play to poke check it clear. Fleury shoots. Irbe's got it at the edge of the crease, and he'll hold it there.
Well, Artur Irbe had to commit. He did. He came out of the net, made a great play, and dumping that puck towards the boards, and Fleury gets it, but Irbe gets back up on his feet and back into the net and into position to fire that shot that was directed towards the net by Marion Fleury. They're going to see him coming out of the net. Reichel's the one chasing it. Irbe out, gets the stick on it, then notice how he props himself right back up, backs in into position, and Fleury got pretty good wood on that one.
Irbe with 26 saves on the night. There's the shots on goal. 32-30 in favor of the Sharks. Flames win the faceoff again. Here's Zalapski. Shot! That grazed the post. It came through and hit the pipe. Back comes Dahlin for the Sharks. Off across the line ahead for Kevin Miller, who almost got to it. Now held in by Ozolin. He'll wind up, and Dahlin tried for the tip. Here's Rafchi. His shot. The rebound comes back out to Mike Rafchi. In front. It's loose, and the Flames come out with it. Now Fleury trying to break away, but Ozolin saves the day. Here's Sanders down the wing, centers, and it's shot high by Dahlin. The rebound in the corner as the Sharks are firing away at Trevor Kidd. Here's Nylander for Calgary. Shot partially blocked by Rafchi. He'll get his own rebound to Housley, and he couldn't get good wood. It's loose in front. And Miller plays it to Makarov. Sergei out of the zone to center ice, and he lost it. Here's Joe Otto down the right side with Sullivan. What a save by Ozolin. Ozolin's deflecting the pass, and Sanders gives it away. Irbe the save off Paul Cruz. Wow!
I think this crowd an appreciation of the play at both ends, because there has been all kinds of scoring chances at both ends. Igor Larionov is down on the ice, and Tommy Woodcock, the head trainer, is out there, but both teams here in the last 30 seconds have had excellent opportunities to put this one away.
Boy, have they ever. Rafchi from the left side twice as the puck just came back to him on a string. But right now, Tommy Woodcock working on Igor Larionov and apparently massaging his neck. Let's look at some highlights.
Well, this is going to be the Fleury in front. Otto with the puck. Look, he shoots it, and Irbe gets the pad out on it. Now Calgary continues to apply pressure here. Ozolin's trying to get the puck out through the middle, but he fires it to Paul Cruz, who is out in the doorstep. He takes a whack at it, and Artur Irbe with about 3 or 4 excellent saves to keep the Sharks in this game. And down at the other end, you mentioned Rafchi had one, and old Dahlin was cruising in the slot area, and I think he got the puck just a little bit too close to his body, and he let the shot go and fired it over top of the net.
Larionov skating under his own power. Woodcock was rubbing the back of his neck. Might have cramped up.
Maybe got a cross check or something. There's all kinds of action, and things going on and bodies flying all over, and it's going to have to be pretty flagrant for referee Paul Dvorsky to call a penalty here in overtime.
Well, the Sharks need to win a face-off here. They've been dominated in that area for a while. Joel Otto, who's one of the best, stands in against Baker. And he wins the draw back to Housley, but he had trouble controlling it. Tight pressures. Puck turned over. Here's Janney. Up for Falloon. Pat Falloon down the right side. But Kesmer sends it out of the zone. Here's Janney again. At the line. Falloon trying to jump on it. Just overskates it. Cruz dumps it in. Tight gathers it in with his skate. Up to Baker. Baker to Falloon. Leaves it for Baker. Baker, Falloon, and Janney. As Baker comes across the blue line, dumps it down low. Zalapsky picks it up for Calgary. We're in sudden death overtime, tied at 4. Mike Sullivan for Calgary. He'll flip it high and over Tom Peterson's head. Herbe will just sweep it aside as both teams change up on the go. Kevin Miller at center ice. Across for Friesen. He gave it away to Kissio. The middle opens up for Kissio. Kissio's pass for Fleury. He was tied up. Good job there by Kevin Miller on Theoren Fleury.
Sure did. Back check picked up Fleury. Would have been wide open.
Here's Peterson. Now Dahlin after it. He'll have to hurry. Gets to it ahead of Theoren Fleury. Friesen behind the net. He's checked hard by Chason. Now Fleury with it. Headmans the puck up for Robert Reichel. Reichel gives for Kissio. He overskates it. Now gets to it and dumps it in. Wide of the goal. Dahlin trying to clear it out. Can't, but it does come out as Dan Kesmer shoots it just after the whistle.
Oh, boy. Well, we talk about back checking. Kelly Kissio had the puck at center, and Theoren Fleury was breaking down that right side, and Kissio's an experienced center iceman, and he just flipped it up. And
Gerard Gauthier's been injured, the linesman, with a cut face, and he's come over to the Flames bench for training, or for treatment from the Flames trainer.
Got it on the cheek. But Miller, just getting back to that, he put his head down, came back, and as Kissio flipped that puck to Fleury, an excellent defensive play there by Kevin Miller.
And there's Gerard Gauthier getting some treatment from the Flames trainer, Bearcat Murray. Jim Bearcat Murray, as he's known, and Gauthier is going to get a little butterfly bandage there and continue.
Yep. See? Even rough for the guys in the striped shirts. Get a little butterfly there, and even if it needs a stitch or two, I'm sure that'll be taken care of after the game. A little iodine on it.
If it was any more serious, they do have a standby official, an alternate, who could take the spot. It's Mark Fawcett tonight, but that's not going to knock Gauthier out of this game. No. He's having too much fun watching it.
Yeah.
So are we. 12:19 left in the first overtime. Ozolin is going to get it right back. Now he'll work it across the line. Titov almost stole it. The Flames send it back in, but Ozolin has it again. Here's Larionov back on the ice. That's good news. To Makarov. Sergei stick handling across the blue line. Ozolin, they shoot. Kid, what a save! Off Ray Whitney. Oh, my.
Best save of overtime right there. Whitney got all of that one.
Trevor Kidd with a world-class stop off Whitney. Here's Nylander back the other way, and he shot it wide. Trailing is Ronnie Stern. He overskates it. Housley forces it back down low. Titov turns. Titov moves to the net. And it hops behind the net to Nylander. Nylander turns around. He's picked up by Larionov. It goes to the corner. Igor, nice job to neutralize Nylander. Now the puck comes out to the point. Housley holds it in. Housley across for Ronnie Stern. Stern winds up. Shot it wide. Loose behind the net. Poke clear to the side. Larionov will move to the puck.
Herbe has lost his goal stick.
Has he ever? It's way out in the corner as Ronnie Stern pulled it out of his hand. Puck goes up into the crowd now behind the Sharks net. And what an overtime period it's been so far.
I'll tell you, when you're the guy standing between these pipes, there's no margin of error for you, for those two guys. And Trevor Kidd just comes up with a great save. But you're going to see what happens to Arturs Herbe as Stern's going to come behind. Now watch how he grabs Herbe's stick. Just kind of took a hold of it and fired it to the corner of the rink.
Archer standing there like a goalie without a stick. Here's Zalapsky sending it into the Shark zone. took overtime to get this Calgary crowd into this series, but are they into it right now? Held in, but Rathje's got it. Back for Peterson. Tom Peterson ahead for Falloon. Falloon looking up for Baker. This will come back for Zalapsky. Zalapsky now across his own blue line to center. Zalapsky going wide, working on Peterson, throws it in front. Herbe got his stick on it. Boy, Zalapsky went end to end. As it comes out now, almost to center ice, Stan Kesmer fires it back in. Delayed offside against the Flames. They clear the zone. Fleury back on now for the Flames as Rathje tried to hit Janney at center ice. Sharks are going to change up here. Well, they're going to get the icing call against them is what they're going to get. With 10:18 left in the first overtime, and the Sharks have now gone longer than they ever have in sudden death overtime in the playoffs.
I'll tell you, there's been end-to-end action. Both teams have had good opportunities to put this one away. Great saves on both ends, but I think this guy right here, Trevor Kidd, has made the save of the extra session so far off the shot from Ray Whitney.
Kidd with 31 stops on the night. Sharks out shooting Calgary right now 35-33. There's Jeff Friesen.
Sharks have to bear down on these face-offs in their zone. They're losing a lot of them.
And they just lost another one. Have they won one since the second period? There's a chance in front. It's tipped wide. Now Friesen with it. He'll jam it out. Kesmer back on defense for Calgary, battling the puck a little bit, but he gets it out and in the seat.
Both these teams very cautious. You know, if you're a hockey player and you're in a situation like this, you don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake that's going to cost your team the game. So you put your head down, you come down. If the puck is loose and you're sure you can't get in there and get it, you cautiously will drop back and play defense. And Friesen getting a lot of ice time, and that NHL experience will be invaluable to him. And of course, you're going to see a lot of fear and flurry out there in the overtime for the Flames.
That draw comes back to Phil Housley. And now to Kissio. Kissio to center ice, dumps it in. It hit Jason Moore. Moore trying to quickly work it up to Kevin Miller. Miller settling the puck at center ice. Friesen has to stop to stay onside. Now Moore right side, and that'll go up in the crowd. Off Reichel's stick, so it'll stay in the Calgary zone for the faceoff. 9:40 left in the first overtime, and the format in the playoffs is you keep playing until somebody wins, and it could go into a series of 20-minute overtimes.
Well, you see Jason Moore, he's hurt, and he's got ice packs on his legs, and I think that wrist is bothering a little bit there. And you notice in this extra session, Randy, when there's a stoppage of play, both guys, everybody who's on the ice looks to the bench like, okay, I've done it, get me off, I want on. It's not like anybody's got a whole lot of energy here with 9:40 left in this first extra session.
Whitney wins the faceoff. It comes out across the blue line. Sharks have to be careful here. It's Nylander on a breakaway. But Ozolin's caught up to him. He hooked him long enough to catch up. Now a 3-on-2 the other way. Whitney with Makarov. Sergei. And he sends this into the corner. Larionov after it. His stick's held by Titov. Rathje trying to hold it in at the point and does. Now the Flames control it behind Kidd. This is Steve Chason. Just taking his time, and he's not getting any pressure. Plays it up the boards. Here's Titov with Nylander. Nylander turns away from Rathje. Leaves it at the point. Makarov comes in, forces it out of the line. Here's Larionov. Back for Ozolin. Sandis trying to go around Sullivan. Now across center ice. He'll dump it in. Good idea. Sharks change up as Janney comes on with Falloon and Baker. Here's Phil Housley building up ahead of steam. He'll dump it in from just across center. Baker. Oh, Baker checked hard by Paul Cruz, but he bounces right back up. Now the puck back in the Calgary end. Housley back against Janney. Puck free to Falloon. He'll send it across and right into the body of Paul Cruz. Cruz checked by Moore and bumped off the puck as Tom Peterson gets back. Off the boards and at the point. Joel Otto will send it back in, but he had Paul Cruz stranded deep in the zone. Here's Janney. Up for Jeff Friesen. And Friesen has it poke checked away by Chason. Fleury leaves it for Reichel. Reichel with Kissio. Robert Reichel tees it up. Reichel shoots, save, and the rebound drops down to Friesen. Here's the rookie, Jeff Friesen. Friesen down the left side with Janney. Friesen falls, tries to get a pass away anyway. Penalty coming up to Calgary. The Sharks will get a power play in overtime as Jeff Friesen is roughed up hard on the left side.
Well, I'll tell you, he was chopped down by Fleury, and Dvorsky let that one go, but he just couldn't let that second one go.
And Theoren Fleury goes to the penalty box, taking away Calgary's best shorthanded threat.
Here's the chop right here. Look how he's holding him up, chopping at him. And here's the follow-up on that as Friesen goes down, and Fleury just bangs into him unnecessarily. Puck was way past him, and Friesen wasn't even involved in it, and Fleury will get the elbow here in overtime, and an excellent opportunity as the Sharks are going to go on the power play. Here he's being held up and pulled down a little bit there, but watch, after Friesen was down on the ice, I don't know whether we're going to get that one or not, but Fleury went right down with the elbow and just crunched Friesen on the back of the head, and that was the reason for the penalty call by Paul Dvorsky.
Well, the Sharks 1 for 4 on the power play as they now get set for a rare opportunity, and that's a power play in overtime.
There's a situation where, you know, a guy, he talks so much about Fleury, and he's been in situations like this so many times, and I know emotions are running high, but, you know, you get away with one there, you pull the guy down, okay, that's okay, and then after you just go down there and give this guy an elbow while he's laying down on the ice, and the referee's only a couple of feet away. A guy with that kind of an experience, Fleury, he should know better than that.
Well, Fleury has 2 shorthanded goals this year, so that takes an element out of Calgary's game in 2 areas. Sharks with a power play goal earlier tonight, but Calgary does have a shorthanded goal. Dahlin out with Friesen, Miller, Rafchi, and Ozolich. And the Flames can't clear it. It's loose in front. They score! Ulf Dahlin wins it. Sharks win! The San Jose Sharks have won.
Joe Lotto won the draw. The puck goes around the boards. The Sharks able to keep it in, and Ulf Dahlin just cruising up high, and he made no mistake in snapping that one in, and the Sharks, 7 seconds into their power play, win game 2 of this playoff series.
5-4 will be the final score, and the fans booing. Here's another look at the goal.
There's Friesen getting a piece of it, and I think Kidd also got a touch of it there, and there's Dahlin, who took the face off and just hit it for the front of the net. And you know what? Otto wanted. The puck goes around the board. See that? And then stays in. Dahlin's there. Makes no mistake. Cashes it in. And the Sharks lead the series 2-0.
There's the reaction on the bench at the goal. And look at the Sharks celebrating. They've won game 2. They've stolen the first 2 games of this series on the road. And Cinderella lives again. The only goal, of course, in overtime is Ulf Dahlin's second of this series. Jeff Friesen, the youngest player in the NHL, gets the assist at 12:21, and the Sharks have stunned this city and stunned the hockey world again. They'll go home up 2-0. The final score in overtime, Sharks 5, Calgary 4. We'll be right back.
How much for the little girl?
Mike likes to.
We are back in Calgary, and the San Jose Sharks now lead this best-of-7 quarterfinal series 2-0 after winning in overtime. And Game 2 has been brought to you by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. By Southwest Airlines, with low fares on every seat of every flight everywhere it flies, the low-fare airline. By Great Western's family of companies, over $42 billion strong. Great Western will always be there. and by Toyota. The more you know, the more likely you'll buy a Toyota. How about it? The Sharks lead this series 2-0, and they haven't even played at home yet. That comes up on Thursday, but we'll be back to tell you about that and more in a moment.
Sense.
It's time for the Sharks post-game report. A recap of tonight's San Jose Sharks hockey game. And back live at the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary, it is a final score. The Sharks defeat the Calgary Flames 5-4 and take a 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. Randy Hahn along with Pete Stemkowski, and Pete, outside of the Game 7 win against the Detroit Red Wings to end the first round last year, I can't think of a more thrilling Sharks playoff win than this one tonight.
Yeah, it sure was. And, it wasn't one of these defensive things where nobody, they're clogging up the neutral zone and nobody was able to penetrate. Both these guys went for the knockout punches, and both teams had at least a half a dozen good scoring opportunities, and fortunately it was the Sharks that directed the one towards the net that went in to win this game.
Let's go to our Mr. Goodwrench turning point of this hockey game, and it comes in the overtime period clearly. Ulf Dahlen at 12:21 ending this thing.
Well, we're going to take a look at the play here as the puck comes behind off the draw and hits the corner and comes out to Jeff Friesen, who tries to direct it towards the net, and Kidd stuck his foot out, got a piece of it, and Dahlen, who had taken that face-off, comes cruising in front of the net. That puck was lying perfectly for him. He makes no mistake and gets the game winner.
Boy, talk about a bounce off the boards. The Sharks were talking about the lively boards here. That wasn't so much lively boards as it was just a little chink or a gap along the boards there, because that puck squirted out of the corner right over to Jeff Friesen.
Yeah, well, in effect, it was the Calgary Flames that won that face-off. Joel Otto won it, and they went to drive it around the boards and out. Instead, it hit something in the corner, and Friesen, who was in that area, got a hold of it, put it towards the front of the net, bounced around a little bit, and Dahlen was there to cash in.
If you were with us all night, Ulf Dahlen talked earlier in the broadcast about the pressure he puts himself on in big games, loves to play money hockey like this, and no bigger pressure than in overtime, and we shouldn't be shocked that this outstanding player got the winner.
Well, he is a pressure player, and you talk about when we interview these players, how they love playing under these kind of pressure situations, where these games mean so much. And you go back in the summertime, and you're laying on the beach, you're playing on the golf course, boy, you think back the memories of winning. All these guys, we talk about the pride that they have. There's not the money that they're after here. It's winning the game. And on this occasion, the man who was in the right spot and is the hero is Ulf Dahlen.
All right, time for our save of the game, brought to you by Great Western's family of companies. Over $42 billion strong. Great Western will always be there.
Well, it happens in the extra session. Is Fleury always dangerous when he's on the ice as the puck goes behind the net. Here comes Fleury on the wraparound, and there goes Irbe diving back, and Sandis Ozolinsh, I think, just got there at the right time to knock that good scoring opportunity off the stick up there in Fleury.
The Sharks are getting ready to head to the airport and head home. They take with them a 2-0 lead in the series. We'll continue our post-game show in a moment. Glorioso! The final score is the San Jose Sharks win their first ever playoff overtime game and now have a rather large 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 series, especially so because it is on the road that they won both games.
And I think they got a little bit more than what they expected here. Coming and getting a split on the road in the playoffs is ideal for any team, and the Sharks coming in here and getting two is really a feather in their cap. And I know this is going to be a low-key team. There won't be any big celebrations on the plane back. They're halfway towards their goal. They haven't accomplished anything yet until they win that fourth game.
They're bound to be dead tired too because of the tireless defensive work that they did. That leads us to our Toyota defensive play of the game, brought to you by Toyota. The more you know, the more likely you'll buy a Toyota.
Well, there were some anxious moments around the Shark net and in overtime, and right here the Sharks guilty of giving up the puck inside their zone, and Paul Cruz will be cruising out in front of the Shark net. Puck comes right to him, and he lets a quick shot go, and Irbe had to be very sharp to prevent that one from going in.
And we just saw there what happened to Igor Larionov. That's the first time we'd seen it. Cruz's stick came back and hit him on the back of the neck, but as you saw, Larionov came out in the overtime and was fine and was able to continue. Time now for our three-star selection, and as always, it is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place.
Well, I gave the third star to Jeff Friesen, and I thought he played a fine hockey game. He set up a couple of goals for the Sharks, and really a strong two-way effort. Couple of goals for Sandis Ozolensh, and once again, he was the big bright spot for the Sharks, and of course, always the guy who scores the winning goal in overtime. Besides that, he had a great effort for the Sharks. Number one star, the Sharks, Ulf Dahlin.
Another look, and we won't tire of looking at this for a while as Dahlin ends it here in Calgary. We're heading home. We'll be right back.
With new cars averaging 20,000.
By Pontiac and the Silicon Valley Pontiac dealers, we are driving excitement. Sharks outshoot Calgary 37-34. The Flames with the lion's share of the chances, 29-22, but the Sharks with 2 power play goals, including the game winner by Dahlin on 6 shots, and only a total of 32 penalty minutes in this very well-played hockey game by both teams. And Game 3 of this best-of-7 series can be seen on Sports Channel Thursday night. The Sharks back home at the arena with a 2-0 lead in this series. Pre-game show starts at 7. Game 3 action live at 7:30. The Sharks and Flames, Game 3 Thursday on Sports Channel. That'll do it for tonight. The Sharks win it in overtime. 5-4 on Dahlin's goal for Pete Stemkowski. I'm Randy Hahn. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again on Thursday. You've been watching the San Jose Sharks postgame report. Join us again for the thrill of San Jose Sharks hockey.
That's good.
We're in Calgary tonight, up 1-0. How'd they come off the ice? Rita Williams is in San Jose with a live report. Rita.
Dennis, the San Jose arena here is empty tonight, but that does not mean that Sharks fans were not watching. They're scrappy Sharks in a thrilling, nail-biting second game of the playoffs. Sharks Mania was alive and well at San Jose Live tonight, a sports bar just a few blocks from the arena. The crowd was somewhat subdued in the first period when the Calgary Flames pulled ahead 2-1. And in the second period, it looked like the Flames had their third goal when the referees reviewed the play.
It is no goal.
The score didn't count, giving the Sharks and the fans here a psychological lift. The Sharks came right back and tied the score 2 apiece. The Sharks barely made the playoffs, then won the important first game of the 4 they need to win to clinch the Western Conference quarterfinals.
For some reason, they ended up raising it up about 10 notches in the playoffs. They're a completely different team compared to what they have been during the last part of the season. So I think for some reason the playoffs excite these guys, so we'll see what happens.
In this seesaw game tonight, the Sharks pulled ahead again, and confident fans started looking way ahead.
Oh, I think they can win the Stanley Cup. It's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of luck. Because to win the Stanley Cup, you got to have a lot of luck.
We're ready for Detroit. I mean, let's bump off Calgary, bring on Detroit. We're ready for them. We're going to take everybody.
And when the clock ticked down tonight, there were looks of bewilderment. If you can believe it, a tie, 4-4. So there was a sudden death playoff. We won't tell you how that came out. Mark will in sports. Let's just say that the Sharks are doing pretty well when they come back here to the arena for Game 3 Thursday night. By the way, Dennis and Elaine, all those tickets are already sold.
Rita Williams in San Jose. Thank you, Rita.
She's trying to keep a secret.
I don't think she did too good of a job.
Mark is here to tell us
Almost gave it away, right? All right, you know, on an A's night that they pulled out a great victory. Giants didn't provide more than a bare minimum of highlights. The Sharks more than make up for it. Playoff hockey at its true best up in Calgary. Give you the full rundown, including how it did come out in overtime with all the sports coming right up.
And what a turn of events! A goal is disallowed.
Tomorrow at the O.J. Simpson trial, prosecution
Hey, if you've never seen a Stanley Cup playoff game before and wondered what all the commotion was about, this one kind of explains it all. Sharks and Flames probably spawned a few more hockey fans tonight. Lead changes back and forth, leading to high-stress overtime. I think Flame fans were embarrassed about their team before. How about now? Down 2-0, pick it up in the second period. It was the Sharks down 2-0, but they come on strong. Pat Falloon crams it down. The Sharks, who were trailing by 2, suddenly take their first lead, 3-2. Stays like that until the third. Former Shark Kelly Kissio will rebound a shot and just takes a wild whack at it, and it goes in just like he planned it, huh? Through Arthur's ear base, 3-3. Sharks don't get too down in the dumps. They're skating like mad on the break. Sandis Ozolinsh, Jeff Friesen getting together. Friesen assisting Ozolinsh, and the Sharks go up 4-3. Second goal of the night for Sandis Ozolinsh. However, the Sharks just getting hammered on the defensive end in the final seconds. Flames one shot after another. Finally get one off the rebound. Robert Reichel stuffed it in. Only 47 ticks left, and it goes to sudden death overtime, where it is Ulf Dahlen waiting to rebound at home. 12:21 into the OT. The Sharks win, 2-0 lead. They'll bring it home Thursday night down at the Tank. We'll be all over that one, of course. And the Sharks very much in control, but they kind of set the excitement standard tonight. There were 3 other games, though. Canucks.
Flying public. Many suspected and convicted. Head-on.
Second playoff run is turning out to be just as exciting as last year's.
Tonight, San Jose has a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 opening round series after winning an overtime thriller in Calgary. As if that isn't enough, both victories came on the road. And the Teal and Black was in full force at San Jose Live downtown tonight. Shark fever has been building all week in the San Jose area, with fans primed for a repeat of the miracle season. As the Sharks return home with a 2-game advantage, the fans are confident the team's going to go all the way.
When they get in the playoffs, they play with more intensity, they play with a lot more fire, they make a lot less mental mistakes, and they're just on top of their game. They're dominating Calgary. They have the potential to go up 2-0, bring it back to San Jose, and take the series here.
This is going to be an uproar. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be mad.
The Sharks are scheduled to return to San Jose early tomorrow morning. Game 3 against Calgary is scheduled for Thursday night at the San Jose Arena. Rick Chavez will have more on the game tonight. He'll have highlights, and that's coming up a bit later in sports.
In other local news tonight, people in Pajaro are still cleaning up 2 months after the devastating statewide floods.
The forfeiture actions. That doesn't.
18-year-old sets him up, and the Sharks lead in the third, 4-3. You know, San Jose won the opener. Here is Robert Reichel, though. 46 seconds left in the game. Urbe through his legs to force overtime. Constantine. Will they be coming back for Game 3 Thursday night in San Jose up 2-0? Oh, Dahlen. That's it. San Jose does it again. 5-4 tonight in Calgary. They lead the Flames 2-0. Elsewhere, the Red Wings are up 2-0. Vancouver.
Tonight's game was fast and furious, but the overtime ended fast and flurryless. Theo Fleury was antagonizing the Sharks all night, but his overtime takedown of Jeff Friesen resulted in the Sharks' game winner. Here are the highlights. Calgary jumped out to the first lead of the game. Across the crease to German Titov. It hits him and then falls into position for a shot. 1-0 Flames. Now on the shorthanded possession, the Flames burn Artur Zerbe. Sheldon Kennedy beats Archie with the move, and it's 2-zip Calgary. But the Sharks got on the board just before the end of the first period. Sandis Ozolinsh muscles it in, and it's 2-1 Calgary after 1. We go to second period now. Huge break for the Sharks. Robert Reichel with the apparent goal, but Paul Dvorsky turns it over to the replay judge, who says, I don't think so. No goal. So it's still 2-1. And that created momentum for the Sharks. Chris Tansel on the breakaway. He goes one way, Kidd the other. And the game is tied at 2 apiece. One more time. This is Craig Janney on the breakaway. He's stopped, but Pat Falloon scores one for his dad. And the Sharks are on top 3-2. Third period tied at 3. Sharks on the 2-on-1 break. Jeff Friesen to Ozolinsh for the shot on Kidd. He connects to make it 4-3 Sharks. But with only 46 seconds to play, Urbe gets shielded and Reichel slips it through his legs. For the tying goal, it's 4-4. With what a wild ride in overtime. It ended on this power play. Ulf Dahlen says, I am the boss of you. And the Sharks are 5-4 winners over Calgary. Booing and crying at the Saddle Dome, but none of it by the Sharks or their fans. The Sharks return home sometime after 1 a.m. and have a morning skate-around scheduled. They'll host Game 3 on Thursday night and Game 4 on Saturday. Both games start at 7:30. And everybody out west will have to contend with the Red Wings on the attack against Dallas. The beautiful passing winds up on the stick of Nicholas Lidstrom for the...
Too strong.
All right.
Just too strong.
I know you had a good close look at the keel.
Sharks win. They can wrap up the series at home this weekend. 5-4 final. Their next game Thursday at the Tank. Joining the Sharks with 2-0 advantages, Detroit. The Red Wings smothering Dallas. The Maple Leafs go up 2-0 over Chicago. Vancouver surge back to tie their series with St. Louis. All right, you like drama? We got more. Ricky Henderson with a wounded
control. Bernie Nichols. That's what guys would love to do to Domi. The Maple Leafs, though, were 3 goals better than Chicago. Mike Ridley with the steal and the goal.
We've just added new nonstop service to Seattle. 3 nonstops daily. So the Great Northwest will be a breeze. And since we're talking about Southwest Airlines, that means more than just more flights. It means more low fares. Growth is good. Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Along with other playoff highlights in the morning sports report.
Good morning, San Jose. Well, it's back to work for the San Jose Sharks as they prepare to meet the Red Wings in Game 2 of their playoff series. Detroit is out to a 1-game lead after a 6-0 win on Sunday. Coach Kevin Constantine will decide.
It is going to be a physical contest. We talked about it. We just saw some of the physical play there. I think the Grizzlies took a little exception to the bump of Tommy Salo from Kenny Hammond. I'll tell you, look at last night's game. Alex Cherbayev, I think, got things started when he was running into Salo. So I'll tell you what, keep an eye on things, guys. It's going to be physical. It's going to be rough. We saw Kevin Evans in the middle of it. And the other thing is, this is a big goal that the Denver Grizzlies got, I thought, because Larry Dick really hadn't been tested in that first one. It's a big shot and a big goal, and it's tied to 1. Back upstairs to you guys.
All right, Adam, you stay out of the way. Tommy Salo in the nets for Denver. He was a gold medal winner for Sweden. You might remember that if you saw that action, Norm. It was amazing on the shootout in the Olympic gold medal game.
Very controversial. And it was Tommy Salo who made that important last save that allowed Sweden to win the gold medal.
Well, we've got penalties. We've got a conversation around the penalty box. Tommy Salo was maybe the victim of a bump, as Adam Gordon pointed out. That led to whatever the penalties will be called. We do know that in the box is Andrei Vasiliev, who has been cut, and he will probably go to the dressing room. The officials getting in the middle of all of this. Watch the officials who were manhandled last night. Watch this. Watch Hammond and Vasiliev. And punched by Vasiliev. There's nothing funny about that, but that could be a very severe penalty. And the crowd booing severely there. You see Andrei Vasiliev as he was going to the locker room. He had a towel. I think he was cut over the eye, and so I'm not sure what his penalty was, but we will find out as we look up at the scoreboard. So far there is nothing up there, so it appears that the penalties, at least for the moment, are coincidental. But Vasiliev did go to the dressing room, and you saw the action a moment ago in front of the net. And as Adam Gordon hinted early on, he felt this might be physical. And, of course, we talked about the physical players. Kevin Evans is one of them for Kansas City. And we will check with Adam Gordon now and find out what happened to Andrei Vasiliev. Adam?
He left the ice partially because of that Kenny Hammond high stick. That's why things got started also. Not just the bump of Salo, but I think he got a high stick from Kenny Hammond.
All right, he will get that repaired, and I'm sure be back on the ice. But we do have some penalties, although the teams are at full and equal strength, so they will be coincidental penalties. Marinucci gets it ahead to Chris Taylor. He didn't say it. Down into the Kansas City zone. We are all tied up at 1 apiece. We are in the first period with 8:13 remaining. The teams are at 5 apiece.
By the way, Vasiliev has a double minor through all of that, so the Blades will get the man advantage after the first 2 minutes runs off.
Puck is sent out to center ice as Denver has Kansas City bottled up. Norman Rochefort turns it over to Kaminsky, and Kaminsky puts it down into the Kansas City zone. Blades trying to move it out. Good forechecking by Denver. Here's Jeff Circa with it. Had it taken away by Emmons. Emmons moving in. Circa ties him up. Emmons throws it over to an open wing. Kip Miller back for Denver. Kip Miller up to Marinucci. Marinucci through to Circa. The defenseman moving into the zone. He has Kaminsky. Circa puts it in front, but nobody could get into the slot. Nice work by Kansas City. Here's Cody Wood. Loses it along the boards. Back in his own zone now for Kansas City, Kevin Workman. Kansas City playing, I'll tell you, we said 5 games in 6 nights at the altitude. A big hit there out in front. Salo with a save as Hodge took that pass from Grillo and made the save. I was just about to say Kansas City is 5 games in 6 nights. They had to go to 7 to close out their series with Kalamazoo. This is a good one. We're glad you're with it. 7:05 remaining, first period on Prime.
Is really responsible for doing the job from a forechecking standpoint. You see the bump in behind the net, the puck frees up, and waiting for it is Grillo. He bumps it out in front. Hodge with a very quick shot. That was a great play by Kansas City to try to convert the turnover to a goal, but an equally fine save by Tommy Salo. You had to be alert on that one.
Our goaltenders at this level, if they get a look at the puck more often than not, they will make the save, and Tommy Salo anticipating where that was all going, and there's going to be a penalty against Denver as the puck is sent down the ice. Down on the ice is Dwayne Joyce, and I'm not sure what happened behind the play. Jeff Medill is arguing for Denver, and Medill is backing toward the penalty box. Jeff Medill, whose father is a former National Hockey League referee, Greg Medill, probably says after the game he's absolutely right. Jeff, you deserved it.
You see the cut on the lip. Jeff Medill goes to the penalty box for high sticking at 13:04. And this will give Kansas City a great opportunity as Joyce heads for the bench because the Grizzlies already, because of the double minor to Vasiliev, now with the Medill penalty tacked on, Kansas City's going to have a 2-man advantage.
Well, we have 6:56 remaining in the first period. Jeff Medill, there's a nose that's taken a beating. Jeff Medill has alternately this year worn a visor and not worn a visor. And you can see the results of not wearing the visor. So the face-off now back inside of the Kansas City zone. So far tonight on the power play, Kansas City living up to its reputation, at least in the playoffs, not doing very well. This is their second power play opportunity. Gordoni bumps it behind the net for Rochefort. A couple of veterans finally get it out of the zone. It's turned back inward. Doty Wood picks it up. He touched the puck offside, and they whistle it down.
So the faceoff comes outside the line. Good look at Doty Wood, who was responsible for the offside. A concerned Butch Goring. His team in a war with Kansas City. It was a tough win for Denver last night. Kansas City comes out tonight, scores the first goal. The game is tied at the moment, but the Grizzlies at home throughout the playoffs have really had an easy time of it. They've dominated play at home. That has not happened with Kansas City, showing why they're where they are in the championship series.
Jan Shalhoub turns it into the Denver zone. It was knocked down by Rochefort. He turns it out to center ice. Claudio Scremin. Doty Wood on the near side. Feeds it through. He's got Scremin moving, but Scremin couldn't control it. Here's Emmons. Watched by Rochefort. Kansas City trying to set it up. Moving into the zone or into the corner now. That was Shalhoub. Here's Biakin. Kansas City moving it around very nicely. They got a man in front. Wood was there, but he couldn't get the puck. Here's Biakin as he overskated it. And the puck comes back to the blue line, but not out. Shalhoub trying to put it in front to Wood. Big Doty Wood will park in front of the net. And that one goes wide of the net on the shot by Scremin. Doty Wood. He's the big Kansas City player. Being watched by Rochefort. You watch the puck. The action in front of the net. Scremin puts it into the corner. Denver trying to keep the play on the perimeter. That's just fine with them. They throw it through the crease. It's knocked down by Biakin. Here's Doty Wood. Biakin. Quick shot. Scremin wide of the net. Rebound off the backboards. Rochefort up with it. And Biakin couldn't keep it in. 32 seconds left now in the Kansas City power play.
Grizzlies pride themselves on puck movement when they have the man advantage. How about the puck movement by Kansas City? It's been superb.
Well, the Denver will give them the puck movement if they don't take a shot. They were not getting shots on goal. Andy Brickley at center ice for Denver with just 10 seconds remaining in the power play. The puck sent down in to the Kansas City zone. They may have time for one more rush. Let's see what they do. Here's Workman. He's got a head of steam. Gets by McWilliam. Workman with a shot to deflect. Wide of the net. Denver trying to just clear it out of the zone. Terry Yake has it to Mike McWilliam. Big Mike McWilliam. Jeff Medill. Medill on the backhand is shot. And he bumps into Larry Dick. And the rebound comes to Mike McWilliam. McWilliam with it again. It's in front of backhander. Knocked down at the defense. McWilliam on the backhand, and he couldn't get it through. Denver all over the area, but just not able to penetrate Larry Dick. Not many people have been able to do that in the playoffs. Here's Medill in front. On the backhand, Yake couldn't get the shot away. Terry Yake into the slot. He's got it with a shot. Saved it. Another shot. Dick with a big save on the glove hand. It pops up into the air. Watch Denver try to work it in front. Finally, it's picked up by Kansas City. Set the length of the ice. And the puck will be touched by Denver. And we will have an icing call. Well, Denver's offense has been amazing tonight. Here's Jeff Medill on the backhand. Not getting by Larry Dick, though. It's a good one.
When the top touring pros come to see me for a lesson.
Grizzly stuff sells as good as anybody in the IHL. And we'll have a chance coming up at the first intermission to talk about the merchandise, the IHL, the NHL coming to Denver with Bernie Mullen. That's all coming up in the first period intermission. But let's go back upstairs to Steve Harms and Norm Jones. Guys?
All right, Adam, make sure you give that back to the youngster you took it from down there. And those are valuable items. Be collector's items pretty soon.
I found it laying around somewhere, guys. I don't know where.
Okay. Here's Andy Brickley chasing it down to the corner to Nicholas Anderson. Denver's got the offense going right now. All the way across the far side. Here's Doug Crossman with a quick shot. That's a shot looking for nothing more than a rebound, but Denver couldn't get there. Kept in. Nicholas Anderson knocked off the puck nicely by Hammond, and it comes out to the center ice area. Kip Miller looking for Anderson, but that was knocked away. Puck comes loose to Grillo. There's a long shot by Hodge. That was knocked down. Salo out of his net to Kip Miller. Kip Miller for Denver. Over the line, trying to stick handle through, but a nice job there by Joyce, or rather Pasucci and Hammond to squeeze him off the play. Ken Hodge easily dumps it into the corner. That's a move when they want to change him up. You see nobody coming after it because Kansas City is changing. Crossman to Victor Nachev. Mentioned earlier, Nachev, an all-star with Kansas City a couple of years ago. Chris Taylor had it poked away, picked up by Marinucci, and he couldn't control that one. It would have been offsides. Here's Claudio Scremin. Dumps it into the Denver zone. Gord Dineen, many years in the IHL, many of those with the New York Islanders. Kept in. Now it's knocked out. It's taken away by Taylor. Taylor moves in on the backhand, a shot wide in the net, and he was bothered just enough as Taylor couldn't really get all of that one on the backhand. Gordonine back in his own zone for Denver. 2:22 remaining in the period. Puck is bumped ahead into the zone. Here's Marinucci. Marinucci being watched by Biakin. Biakin nicely takes it away from Marinucci. Here comes Emmons. Turns it into the right wing corner. Salo out of his net. Norman Rochefort. Talked about these veteran Denver defensemen. Butch Goring's philosophy is offense will win you a lot of games. Defense wins you championships. Denver right now 3 games away, 3 wins away from the Turner Cup title. Jeff Medill at center ice turns it into the Kansas City zone. Nilsson back after it there. Run off a play by McWilliam. Here's Medill trying to line his man up, and the puck comes loose. Can't ham it out with it. Into the corner, Jeff Surker. Jeff Surker has won a Calder Cup in the American League and would love to add the Turner Cup to it. Here's Hammond. Tommy Salo comes out of his net. He just fires it up the glass. Mike McWilliam does the safe thing and turns it out to center, and it dribbles down in to the Kansas City zone. We are approaching the 1-minute mark. What has been a tight first period, all tied up at 1. Evans just dumps it out to center ice. Here the 1-minute mark, and the puck goes up into the crowd, and we will have a face-off.
Kip Miller, who leads this Denver team in scoring. There you see Quintain, but there's Kip Miller, who, as Steve mentioned, was a Hobey Baker winner. with Michigan State. He's really been a solid goal scorer professionally. Has not been able to really stick in the NHL, but he's been outstanding in the International Hockey League, and certainly very important to the Grizzlies this year, Kip Miller.
Well, he's got a couple of brothers in the National Hockey League, and I'm sure when they go home for the summer, they give him a little business about not being up there in the big show. But he has done a tremendous job here, leading the Grizzlies in scoring, and they're trying to take a pass just over his stick. Larry Dick covers that one up with 47 seconds remaining here in period number 1.
Kansas City's played very well to begin this series. We talked about the fact that they have been a busy team, much busier than Denver. Denver's taken care of business rather quickly in the playoffs so far, winning series rapidly and then having a lot of time off. But that's not true of Kansas City, led by Larry Dick in goal. He's been outstanding. They've been very busy. And while some may feel that perhaps a little tired as a result of it, they haven't shown that at all in this series so far.
So we've got 47 seconds remaining. Denver leads the series 1-0. This game, though, is all tied up 1 apiece. Puck is loose out at center ice. Here is Kip Miller. Does a little dance and turns it into the zone. Workman back after with it. Kevin Workman for Kansas City behind his own net. 29 seconds. Kansas City looking for one last rush. Here's Quintain, but he just turns it out to center ice. Jeff Surkoff with it. Dumps it in over to the far side. Milan Tichy for Denver puts it to Nicholas Anderson. Oh, he had it knocked away. Here's a quick shot down in front as Tichy took the shot. Finally, it's turned out to center ice. Quintain for Kansas City. Looks at the clock, takes the long shot with 7 seconds remaining. Milan Tichy for Denver off the boards. Kip Miller couldn't pick it up. Now he does. A loose stick knocked that one away as the buzzer goes, and the period is over.
Well, it's been 4 periods of very closely played hockey so far in this championship series. It certainly is the way Kansas City has played throughout the championships. Denver used to more breathing room at home. It's not the way it is at the moment.
Well, there's the way it is. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. We've got a lot coming up. This is a great game. This is what the finals are all about. That's why you can watch it all right here on Prime.
What would you do to get your kids to read?
I've tried pleading. I've tried candy.
Food, TV.
It was heavy negotiations. We even had to have a contract.
Now you don't have to bargain or plead to get your kids to read. Just give them Sports Illustrated for Kids. Here's why.
It's exciting, so they're excited to read it.
He's always reading and always asking us questions.
Rugged first period. Adam Gordon warned us it would be, and his prediction came true. Here's some of the action, players and linesmen getting into it.
Well, Andrei Vasiliev, because of that punch, not only got a double minor for roughing, but he got a 10-minute misconduct. In addition to that, he took the cut, but then took the swing, and it brushed the linesman. And there's a high stick by Biakin up along the side of Nicholas Anderson. And now the Grizzlies struggle to get it out of their own zone. Kaminsky tried to get it out, but Gary Emmons picked up the errant effort and just fired it over the top of the fall on Tommy Salo. And Emmons gets the Blades the lead at 1-0, 30 seconds in. And watch the great passing here. You saw the pass to Kip Miller from a guy who knows to dish it off. Kip Miller with his 13th of the year, Brickley giving him the pass across the middle. Perfect pass, and Miller knows what to do with it when he gets in that position.
Well, I tell you what, we have played just 20 minutes. We've had action all over this ice, and it's going to be a good one. We got 40 minutes of regulation coming up. One tie. This has been the kind of game that is truly typical of playoff hockey. Fine goaltending, good rugged body work, and of course very low scoring, just 1 goal apiece. The goals were scored by Gary Emmons and Kip Miller. So far in his first 2 years as a head coach, Butch Goring has won 109 games. He's standing by with Adam.
Butchie, another tight game. Did you expect it like this?
Oh yeah, I think every game is going to be like this. They got a good checking team. It's going to be tough.
Now, what kind of changes are you making for the second period?
We're going to try and outscore them.
Outscore them? Yeah, that's the key to victory. Outscore them today.
Yeah, that's it. We'll try hard. It's a good, hard game, you know. Lots of chances both end. Good goaltending. Hopefully we can capitalize on our opportunities.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks, Adam.
Head coach Butch Goring, let's go upstairs.
Well, that was the philosophy that has won him 109 games. Try to outscore him.
Butch being clever again, as he is all the time.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers in the first period. Do they tell the story?
Well, they're pretty even. The Grizzlies do outshoot Kansas City. The score is even, of course. You see the saves. Grizzlies do score a power play goal, and that's important because much of their success, the result of an outstanding power play unit this year. Face-offs even, scoring opportunities relatively even. That's what the score would tell you, and that's where we are when we begin the second period.
Well, it's been a good one, and tell you what, we talk about playoff hockey, Norm, and this is what it's been about. Butch talked about it, the tight checking, and of course, I'm sure Jim Wiley's saying the same thing. He understands what it takes to beat Denver. And of course, we're talking David and Goliath here. David is, never going to win anything. Kansas City, they barely made it into the playoffs, but what a playoff run they have had as they have marched through 3 rounds, getting here to the Turner Cup Finals. They marched through Detroit. Everybody thought Detroit might be the team to beat, but they did that. But Tommy Salo and the Denver Grizzlies, well, they have had an easy time as well getting through the playoffs, as the opposite number there, Larry Dick, obviously has been the reason Kansas City has done so well.
Yeah, he is the one reason that Kansas City's done so very well. Teams have responded. You know, in the playoffs, goaltending is so very important. And when you have a goaltender that is played like Larry Dick, it just gives confidence to everybody else out on the ice. It really brings up the level of play. Larry Dick has brought that level up as far as Kansas City is concerned, and they are very much in the chase for the Turner Cup championship against the Grizzlies, certainly the strong favorite to win the Turner Cup when the playoffs began. So it'll be very interesting indeed as we go to the second period.
Well, we're all tied up at 1 apiece. Jim Wiley had these comments.
Skate hard, smother them with signs of footwork, but don't tear the jerseys. Now, we have tried to play a very KISS aspect, which is keep it simple, stupid, and with the work ethic, the enthusiasm, the intensity, the energy level, and a commitment to playing that KISS aspect. I think that has been the key to our success. Plus, we've had some tremendous play by unsuspecting people with regard to getting some goals. Pat Firschweiler last night, Dean Grillo a couple of nights ago, well, in fact, in the game, deciding game against Kalamazoo. So we've had some people that, by statistics, are not way up there, but have played significant roles. And I think that's what the difference between a good team and a great team. You get your players that are not normally high statistical people throughout the regular season. They come through, as we've seen in some of the National Hockey League playoffs.
Jim Wiley, the head coach of Kansas City, and we're set for action after a little repair work on the ice. And Steve Harms ready to take us through the second period.
Well, we're all tied up at 1 apiece, and of course the time now is very important for Kansas City. They have one goal, and that is to take a victory out of Denver and go back for 3 games in Kansas City. 78% of the time, the winner of the first game has won the Turner Cup. A long shot from a point by Scremin. Tommy Salo saw it all the way and made the save. And that's one thing that the Denver defense is very good at. Very seldom is Tommy Salo screened. He talks about it and says that he gets a good look at the puck most of the time. And we said that Butch Goring brought in the defense to win championships.
Well, not only does Tommy Salo get a good look at shots most of the time, but then if indeed the puck gets away from him, Denver's been outstanding this year, clearing it out of harm's way. Not many rebound opportunities, and that's certainly been a big part of the Grizzlies' success coming into the playoffs.
Face off now to the left of Tommy Salo as Dodie Wood gets a little repair work on his stick. Scott Zelkin, the referee tonight, we mentioned earlier, and Scott Zelkin, a veteran referee in the IHL. We're all tied up at 1 apiece. Slow start to this second period, and a faulty drop of the puck. Last night, as Gary Emmons and Chris Taylor face it off, Chris Taylor for Denver and Emmons were each thrown out of the face-off circle about 5 times. That shows you how important face-offs are. Chris Taylor said to me today, he's going to cheat, I'm going to cheat. Emmons wins it. Long shot, kicked out by Salo. A nice save by Tommy Salo. A shot way wide of the net by Dodie Wood. Goes all the way down the ice. A tight game, 1-1. Steve Harms, Norm Jones, and Adam Gordon with you here as the Grizzlies with an opportunity. Oh, and it just goes wide as Taylor took the shot. And finally, Kansas City cleans it down the ice. They would like to have a little bit of a break here. Adam Gordon is standing by. Something about the number 27. Adam?
You guys have noticed on the back of the helmet, number 27, you know, the Blades have a lot of guys that played on the 92 Turner Cup team, including number 27, Mike Coleman, but he tragically lost his life at the end of last year in April, and still not forgotten. He is a very important part of this hockey club, very well remembered, and they, of course, have put that number 27 on the back of their helmet.
Face-off as the result of the icing comes to the left of goaltender Larry Dick. You were looking at, that's his glove side. So we're tied at 1 in the second period, a good one.
Well, here's Joyce from the face-off. We talked about the importance of face-offs. Kansas City winning it in their own zone, trying the breakout. Here's Andy Brickley going after it. Brickley trying to move in front on the backhand. His shot. Oh, and a save by Dick. Dick gets the left pad out there and stones Andy Brickley.
Great save by Larry Dick. Brickley took plenty of time. He was very patient as he brought it in front of the net. You see Brick trying to move it in front, and he thought he saw an opening after crossing in front of Dick, but he's been spectacular, hasn't he? He somehow stretched himself across in front of the net and got the pad on it as Brickley tried to went upstairs.
A little help from the post.
Yeah.
Puck, I think, rattled off the post, but Dick was there to cover up the rebound. Andy Brickley, he has been amazing for Denver this year after coming off total reconstructive knee surgery. Milan Tichy tried to center it out. It was taken around. Hodge just dumps it out to center ice. Quintain is tied up by Brickley, but the puck comes loose. In behind the net, Tommy Sallow. Brickley to Anderson. Here's Kip Miller. Miller trying to work his way in, takes the shot off balance, but Dwayne Joyce did a good job of keeping him out from in front of the net. Quintain tries to come out of the zone. That's knocked back in, delayed offside. Here's Brickley. Brickley to Anderson. Nicholas Anderson had 5 goals in a game against Milwaukee, an 11-4 win in game number 1 of the Grizzlies Milwaukee Admirals series. The Grizzlies ended up winning 4-1. Andy Brickley. Jeff Circuit turns it ahead, trying to dump it into the zone. Here's an opportunity, moving in his Firstweiler. Firstweiler shot, saved by Sallow, and he holds on.
Goaltending at both ends of the ice. It has to be superb in the playoffs. And here's Firstweiler moving in. All alone, lets the shot go. Tommy Sallow kicks to his left. And then, just as important, after making the stop, he smothers the puck, not to free it up and allow a rebound opportunity. Big save by Tommy Sallow.
Well, that's one of those times where your forwards and your defensemen say, thanks, pal. That's why you're here. That's what the big goaltenders do. That's what Tommy Sallow has done. That's what Larry Dick has done throughout the course of the playoffs. That's why they're in the finals, and that's why this one is tied up in 1 apiece. Tommy Sallow, a very quiet, soft-spoken young man, but he gets feisty in front of his own net if he gets hit by anybody. Haven't seen any of that so far. Victor Nacha down into the Kansas City zone. Here's Nilsson being watched by McWilliam. Puck comes loose, picked up by Hammond. Ken Hammond at center ice. He winds up his drive, kicked over to the far side. After it, there is Evans. Taken away by Medill, just turned out to center ice. Kansas City just dumping it back into the zone. They prefer to dump and chase the puck. They think they can win the battles of the corners. Mike McWilliam ties up his man and sends it ahead. Into the zone is Nacha. Nacha puts it through the crease, and it got caught in Yake's skates. Here's McWilliam just dumping it toward the net. It's along the side of the net, and Dick covers up. Sometimes you talk about great slap shots. It's better off just send it that direction. You never know what it might hit. And that's what the Grizzlies were thinking about right there when Mike McWilliam just sent it toward Larry Dick. But he has been amazing, Norm.
Larry Dick is a goaltender that lost sight in one eye. That makes the story even more remarkable. He's a guy that's played at the top level as well as you can play, as he's played in this series. And he does it with what would be half vision for most people. Outstanding.
Well, he will watch the face-off with that one good eye to his right, as he has watched one Denver Grizzly goal get by him, a goal by Kip Miller in the first period. That was the one that tied it up after Gary Emmons gave Kansas City an early 1-0 lead. We are tied at 1. Don Shalhoub tried to kick it out. He couldn't do it. That one just dribbles to Larry Dick, and he covers up. Chris Taylor knocked down in front of the net.
One of the big differences in this series versus the others, the Grizzlies averaging 5 a game in the playoffs. That hasn't happened against Kansas City so far. 3 goals last night, and the team's tied at 1 tonight. That's the key for Kansas City. Be very tough defensively. Don't allow the Grizzlies to open it up as they have in the other series.
Crowd reacting to the announcement of a total sellout, 16,125, is it, Norm? Is that the total sellout number? 215. All right, but this is a sellout. And the McNichols Arena crowd, as we mentioned earlier, Denver in its 3 playoff series thus far has not ever returned to McNichols Arena. They win their first series 3-0, the next 2 4-1. And so once they have left here after 2 victories, they have never come back. And the crowd anticipating tonight that could be the case again, although the Kansas City Blades have other ideas as well. Chris Taylor in the corner for Denver. Marinucci watched by Emmons. Battling in the corner. This is where games can be won and lost. These battles in the corner. Now Kaminsky trying to dig it loose. Moving in is Doty Wood. It's a big body in there, but the puck comes out in front. There you see it. Back to Dineen. Dineen's shot. That was knocked down and goes wide. Here's Jan Shalhoub. His pass knocked down by Kaminsky, but Shalhoub picks it up again. At center ice. Shalhoub is sent flying by Marinucci. Emmons and Rochefort battle, and here comes Denver 3-on-2. It's Marinucci to Kaminsky. Kaminsky trying to get it by, but a nice play by Dwayne Joyce as he broke up that 3-on-2, and Denver can only look at what might have been. Kansas City a bit back on its heels. Doty Wood turns it down into the Denver zone. Jeff Circa. Anderson, nice pass to Kip Miller. Miller tried to feed it through to Brickley, but had it knocked down and turned out to center ice by Workman. Lon Tichy sends it in for Denver. Joyce trying to get it out. Right now it appears that they're back on their heels and just trying to keep a puck out of their own end. Denver is relentless when they feel that they can start moving it in. They've got a line out there with Anderson, Brickley, and Kip Miller with the puck. Who can do it? Here's Kip Miller. He's got Brickley on his left. In front to Brickley. Shot. Oh, Dick made the save, but I'm not sure he saw it. Andy Brickley took the pass, and Dick made a terrific save. Here's Anderson behind the net. Anderson throws it out in front, but Joyce is there, and he turns it down the ice. That will go far enough for icing, and Kansas City Blades have weathered the Grizzlies storm.
Well, what a great effort by Dick. He really didn't see it. A great scoring chance, not done by the Grizzlies.
I've played a lot of great courses in my life.
Welcome back to McNichols Arena, a 1-1 game. Hey, you know, there is a Stanley Cup playoff game that does have implications tonight. Detroit beat San Jose 6-2, and of course San Jose is the top affiliate for the Kansas City Blades, and by that, now that the Sharks are eliminated, 2 key guys, Sean Donovan and Vlastimil Krupa, will probably report for Game 3, and those are 2 key guys for the Kansas City Blades. Guys?
All right, Adam, we'll see what Denver has to say about that, but the business at hand right now is without those 2 very fine players. That's a good point. That will strengthen this Kansas City team. Here's Nilsson with a long drive. Salo kicks it into the corner. Puts it out in front. On the backhand is almost getting an opportunity is Kevin Evans. And finally, Tommy Salo covers it up with a little bit of extracurricular activity in front of that. Tommy Salo just skating away. It was interesting as Adam Gordon gave us that score. There was an announcement of National Hockey League TV coming up this weekend here. Crowd booing away. A lot of these folks not at all happy about their Grizzlies having to find a new home. With the brand new NHL team coming in here to Denver starting next year, the Quebec Nordiques moving from Quebec City to the Mile High City.
Kevin Evans, who is tied up with Mike McWilliam. McWilliam provides the muscle for the Grizzlies. And if it comes to fisticuffs, well, Mike McWilliam is the guy there. But he and Evans got tied up. No penalties as a result of that pushing and shoving. As you look at Larry Dick, who has been the story for Kansas City.
Well, this one is 1-1. Denver is not used to being in that position at McNichols Arena. Kansas City is very happy to have them in that position. Kansas City got on the board early on, but Denver has come back to tie it up. Through the first 5 minutes of this second period, we have had no scoring, although Denver has controlled the play pretty much down in the Kansas City zone. Terrier for Denver just finds enough room to move it out to center ice. It's turned back into the Denver zone. Victor Nachev for the Grizzlies. Doug Crossman, veteran. Long pass to Mike McWilliam off his stick. Pasucci turns it down into the Denver zone. Tommy Salo out from behind the net as Jeff Medill and Pasucci behind the play collide, and the crowd reacts. Long pass intended for Medill. That goes right to Larry Dick. Off the boards out to center ice. Mike McWilliam has it for Denver. Here's Nachev. He tried to stick handle down, but he couldn't do it as Pasucci knocked it away. Here's Emmons into the zone. His shot high and wide of the net. Viakin had it taken away by Medill. Puck comes loose to Mike McWilliam. McWilliam with a long drive right to Larry Dick. He holds on. McWilliam comes in after the rebound, and Dick turns it out to center ice. Gordon Dineen for Denver back in the Grizzly zone. Rochefort. His pass off the stick of Kaminsky. He couldn't control it. Gordon Dineen turns it down. And this is a center ice hockey game right now. Here's Emmons into the zone. Tried to feed it through. It goes into the corner. Emmons chases it down, centers it in front, but there was nobody there for Kansas City in the crease, and Jan Kaminsky comes out for Denver. Kaminsky tries to feed it through to Marinucci. Marinucci backhands it into the zone. Kansas City doing a terrific job of clogging up the center ice area. That one sent the length of the ice. If it is touched first by Denver, Milan Tichy, he touches it right there.
Jeff Medill is a guy that likes to battle. He is a guy that will, in time, encourage penalties, and he will, at times, take a dive. There's the shit by the stick across the top of Pasucci, and as Medill skates away, he's pushed, and down he goes to try to draw a penalty. It didn't develop.
So the face-off will come back down inside the zone. As we mentioned earlier, Jeff Medill has alternately worn a shield this year and shows the scars of why he wore it, but he took it off in the last couple of games. Here's Milan Tichy with a drive. That hits a skate and goes out to center ice. Nicholas Anderson to Jeff Circa. They turn it down into the Denver zone. Circa back after it. Nicholas Anderson on the boards. He tried to feed it up, and he gets by Joyce. Here's Kip Miller. He's got Brickley with him again. Miller into the slot. Miller with a shot, and it goes in the net. Oh, you could have set your clock by that one. As Miller and Brickley on the 2-on-1, Dick made the save, but there was just enough momentum, and Brickley knocked it home.
It may have been Andy Brickley that shoved it in. There's Kip Miller on the 2-on-1 that's developing for the Grizzlies. Nice move. Brickley takes one defensive out position. Miller across the middle let the shot go. The puck lays on the line, and Brickley reaches for it, shoves it in, and Andy Brickley with the goal for Denver, and the Grizzlies with a 2-1 lead.
Well, that is the second 2-on-1 that those two have had. They are 1 for 2, but there have not been many odd man rushes in this game. That tells you about the close checking. Denver now has 3 odd man rushes. Kansas City has just 1, and that really tells you particularly how tightly Kansas City is played, because Denver normally during the course of a game will have 5 or 6 per period. That's just the way they play. Kansas City now down by a score of 2-1. Andy Brickley getting the goal as the puck is sent down into the Kansas City zone. That should be an icing call. It is. And the faceoff will come back inside the Grizzlies zone, with Denver up now by a score of 2-1.
At 7:18, the time of that goal. Brickley gets the goal. And, of course, Kip Miller with the assist. And the one other assist goes to Nicholas Anderson. So the Grizzlies with a 2-1 lead. That has been a very productive line for the Grizzlies. You see all 3 of them there. Kip Miller with a nice move across the middle. Slipping to the ice was Workman. It's shoved toward the net, slowed considerably, but Brickley standing in the right spot, reaches across, gets the momentum, and shoves the puck into the net. Andy Brickley with his 5th playoff goal. Kip Miller, Nicholas Anderson the assist at 7:18.
Here's Ken Hammond moving in front of the net. Tommy Salo knocked that one away as Hammond, right from the face-off, tried to fool everybody and did a good job of it, but Salo was there. 12:13 remaining to play here in period number 2. The Denver Grizzlies leading Kansas City 2-1 on an Andy Brickley goal. Brickley and Kip Miller have scored for Denver. Gary Emmons scored the first goal of the game to give Kansas City the 1-0 lead, but Denver has come back with a couple of goals. Tried the tic-tac-toe pass there, and it didn't work, and Nilsson turns back in his own zone. Pasucci falling, but finally dumping it up along the boards. Denver trying to keep it in. They do. Here's Marinucci. Marinucci with a drive and a nice save by Dick, and he kicks it into the corner. Here's Doug Crossman to Mike McWilliam. McWilliam puts it through the crease. Nobody was there as Marinucci was tied up nicely by Pasucci. Hilson turns it out. Here's Firstweiler. Firstweiler moving in. His shot. Salo makes the pad save to the near side. Picked up by Yake, who couldn't turn it out. Kept in. Here's Emmons. Emmons looking for somebody. To Biakin. Biakin trying to find somewhere to go with it. He's watched by Crossman. They get it to the crease. Moving in is Scremin. Scremin putting it to the side. They score! Shalhoub on the side of the net in the perfect position. And Kansas City comes back and ties this up. What a great effort, forechecking effort by the Kansas City Blades.
Well, it all started with the turnover at the Denver line, as Terry Yake had a tough time getting it out of the zone. And watch this terrific pass across the middle. Shalhoub is there to dump it in behind Tommy Salo. We're knotted at 2. Another look at it as a great effort by Scremin. As we'll take another look at that, but Shalhoub gets the result of that great pass, and the goal. We're tied at 2.
Well, I'll tell you, what a comeback for Kansas City. It would have been very easy for them at that point to get very down after Denver had come back trailing 1-0 to take a 2-1 lead. But Kansas City, the great effort that they have shown throughout the playoffs, comes back to tie this up. Watch the effort by Dodie Wood as he prevents the icing. Kaminsky on the near side, can't get it by Biakin. Puck comes loose now as Grizzlies Taylor. Chris Taylor puts it out to center ice, and it dribbles down into the Kansas City zone. Scremin back after it. Biakin. Too far for Emmons, but he picks it up. Emmons with a drive off the skate. Quick shot saved by Salo as Emmons got his own rebound and put the shot down on Tommy Salo. Here's Biakin. Biakin trying to center it in front. Chris Taylor is there. He just barely dumps it off the fireboards to get it onto the zone, and a delayed offside call. Here's Gordon Dineen. Offside now is waved off. Dineen over to the far side to Norman Rochefort. They play catch with it. Andy Brickley had that second goal. The Grizzlies had a very short-lived lead. Turns it down into the zone. Here's Scremin. Near side to Hodge. Too far for him. Gordon Dineen after it for Denver. Kip Miller. Miller throws it to an open right wing. Evans there. Evans backhand pass to Grillo. Grillo moving in. Grillo with a quick shot wide of the net. Norman Rochefort turns it out to center ice. As Kansas City now finding new life. That will be an offside call, and so it would have been whistled down had Denver touched it. This will be well, that's not offside as Nilsson takes a shot. Played very ragged as all of a sudden Kansas City ties it up at 2 apiece.
Great pass by Scremin to Shalhoub. Shalhoub dumps it into the net. 11 goals in the playoffs. He leads the Kansas City Blades in goal scoring in the playoffs.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when...
Great hockey game, 2-2 game here at Denver's Minickle Sports Arena. Is it maybe the last time these guys will see the Denver Grizzlies? I'll tell you what, it's a great crowd, and just say no deeks. I don't know. This is a very mixed crowd. They're getting into this. They think their team's going to win the Turner Cup. I'll tell you what, I'm sure the Kansas City Blades have something to say as they just tied it at 2. Gentlemen?
All right, Adam. Adam Gordon at ringside, taking a look around. I think for a while it was stealing some T-shirts from youngsters, but he's a good man. He gave them back. And the Grizzlies now in a position this late in the game that they don't normally find themselves here. What a home record they had, Norm. They were terrific.
And the one thing that Kansas City cannot allow to happen, that is the Grizzlies, who had some great scoring chances earlier in this period, could have opened it up perhaps. If Denver starts running away from Kansas City, then Kansas City's got to open it up. That's not what they want to do, but they've stayed close. We're tied at 2.
So the face-off is controlled by Denver. Jeff Circa has it with 9:15 remaining in the second period. Terrier almost had it taken away, tried to feed it through to Tichy, and here's Firstweiler. Firstweiler has a man breaking all by himself with Evans, but Terrier came back to knock it loose. Puck comes harmlessly down into the Kansas City zone. I'll tell you what, Kansas City, for a team that isn't known for great offense, is really doing a good job. Here's Jeff Medill. Jeff Medill with a shot. Dick makes an easy save there. It's kicked into the corner by Pasucci.
Evans turns it out to center ice. Milan Tichy right back into the Kansas City zone. Hammond back for Kansas City. His pass too far for anybody, and it's out to center ice. Victor Nachev had it knocked down. Nachev gets it back and puts it back into the Kansas City zone. Hammond there takes a check from Medill, and the puck comes loose to center ice. Picked up by Dodie Wood. Wood has Nilsson with him. Tried to feed it through, but it was behind Nilsson. Nilsson comes up with the puck off the boards. Shalhoub was breaking in from the point. Nobody saw him, and the puck goes to Scremin. Scremin trying to get away from Nachev. Puck back on the near side. Knocked away there by Kaminsky, and the puck is turned back into the zone as Dodie Wood struggling a bit with Kaminsky all over him. But Denver having to come out of their own zone one more time. That one the length of the ice. It will not be an icing call. Race for the puck. Back after it. There's Vasiliev. Andre Vasiliev in the corner. Kaminsky. Kip Miller. Miller's pass was knocked to the side of the net. Miller again on the wraparound. Oh, and it went off his stick as Miller was looking for the wraparound, but he couldn't control it. Ooh, that was rifled up into the crowd, as this one has been everything we thought it would be in the finals. 2-2, 7:27 remaining to play here in period number 2 from McNichols Arena in Denver.
Check this out. The Oakland Skates Roller Hockey Club will be in your face fast and furious 12 times this season at the Oakland Coliseum. Catch all the hard-hitting action of hockey, but hold the ice and add the goals. The Skates offer 9 season ticket packages to fit everyone's budget, time, and pleasure. And after every Sunday home game, fans get to skate free. Season tickets start at only $49 and are available by calling 510-562-2220.
The Denver Grizzlies to lead them against Kansas City in that 3-2 victory. He is a young man that Butch saw on a touring Russian team last year, Norm.
That's right. It was the team that toured the International Hockey League, if you will, the team that competed against IHL teams, and of course it counted in the standings. Vasiliev, a member of that team, and got a good look from Butch Goring. Butch brought him to Denver. He has been everything he had hoped he would be, and there's another Russian next to him, Jan Kaminsky.
Well, you talk about Jan Kaminsky. Andre Vasiliev was really alone here in Denver.
He really was.
Until Kaminsky came, as we're going to have a penalty coming up here right from the face-off. But just to finish that thought, Jan Kaminsky, Nicholas Anderson was injured on the play, and the referee, Scott Zelkin, coming over to check on Anderson. And moving slowly to the penalty box is J.F. Quintain. Quintain was thrown out of the game last night, received a game misconduct, and he slowly goes to the penalty box. We were mentioning Andre Vasiliev as you watch Quintain there. When Jan Kaminsky was brought in, a fellow Russian, all of a sudden Vasiliev had somebody that he could talk with, that he really had something in common with, and at that point, his play really picked up for Denver.
He really felt as though he was alone and had nobody to talk to because he struggles with English. But when Kaminsky came in, they could converse. Kaminsky could, for Vasiliev, converse with other people, really eased some of the problems.
And you see them sitting next to each other, Vasiliev and then Kaminsky with the nose brace on his nose. That helps them breathe. Well, it's a power play time for Denver. They have scored a goal on the power play. They are 1 for 2 on the power play. Butch Goring has put together the best power play during the regular season. And, of course, there are the number of shots as well. But right now, out on the power play is what would be the #1 power play unit with Kip Miller, Andy Brickley, and Jeff Medill up front. Nicholas Anderson and Doug Crossman at the points. We'll see if they can do anything with it, as this one is all tied up at 2 apiece. And as we mentioned, Denver does have 1 power play goal, although they were 0 for last night in the power play. That doesn't happen to them very often. Here's Doug Crossman. Looks for traffic, finds it. The puck is knocked down and sent down the ice.
Quintain is off for high sticking at 12:38. That results in the 2-minute advantage for Denver. Butch wanted a major penalty.
Here's Kip Miller. Gives it to Brickley. Brickley into the slot, but it was taken away nicely and turned out to center ice. And here's a break for Biakin. Biakin trying to get by Anderson, but that pass was knocked loose. Here's Brickley. Brickley to Kip Miller on the left side. He's got Brickley with him. Miller with a quick shot. He scores!
was a case where Miller made Larry Dick think about Andy Brickley. He had to think about him, and when Miller looked like he may pass, instead he snapped off the shot, and Kip Miller gets his second goal of the night, and the Grizzlies once again inch back into a 3-2 lead. There's the quick snap shot that beat Larry Dick to the right side.
I'll tell you what, nobody other than Kip Miller in that kind of a situation. What a great pass just moments before this by Andy Brickley, who's so handy with the puck. He put Kip Miller into the zone, 2-on-1 with Brick. Kip used Brickley, decided to shoot, beat Dick, and the Grizzlies now with a 3-2 advantage at 13:10 of this second period.
But Kansas City has been remarkable. They have come back to tie this one up at 2. They didn't let the fact that Denver had taken the 2-1 lead get them down. They are well coached and really have shown a lot of grit. They are a team that very likely most people thought wouldn't make it to the playoffs. Here they are in the finals. Denver knows that. Kansas City knows that. Sometimes there are talks of teams of destiny. Some think that may have been, and it looks like we may have another penalty coming up against Kansas City as Marinucci was sent flying and a very upset Kevin Evans.
Evans apparently will go to the penalty box, and the Grizzlies, who just scored a power play goal, will have another opportunity. Jim Wiley, the head coach, shaking his head. But stepping into the penalty box is Frederick Nilsson. That's who gets the penalty for Kansas City. And it'll be another 5-on-4 advantage for the Grizzlies. There you see the collision. Evans comes in to deliver the hit, but after the hit, you saw the stick work and the penalty call.
Well, the hit was just fine. Evans threw the big hit, but what happened was Nilsson had his stick in the armpit, basically, of Marinucci, and that was the call as he went down to the ice. So Denver, now having scored 2 power play goals, has the opportunity once again. For Denver, they would love to get up by a 2-goal lead. For Kansas City, obviously this could be the turning point in the game with 6:25 remaining second period. Denver with a 3-2 lead. The hook under the armpit of Chris Marinucci was the call, not the hit by Evans. Here's Doug Crossman. Nicholas Anderson. They work it around. Nobody in front right now for Denver, but they like to cycle the puck. Here's Kip Miller. This is where he loves to work. His quick pass or shot was deflected. Anderson behind the net to Brickley. Brickley looking for somebody, finally finds Kip Miller. Crossman. Crossman winds into the corner to Anderson. Anderson goes behind the net. Looks for some place to go, but that was taken away nicely as Anderson had it stripped away by Quintain. Kip Miller with 2 goals tonight for Denver.
Both power play.
Medill to Brickley. Jeff Medill behind the net. Brickley in the corner. Doug Crossman for Denver. A battle in front. Medill being worked over heavily by Kevin Workman. But the Grizzlies keep the puck. Far side, Nicholas Anderson. Crossman. Time ticking down. Crossman fakes the shot. Less than a minute remaining in this power play. Kip Miller on the near side. Denver has controlled it. A long shot over the top of the net, or that may have hit Jeff Medill.
I think it did hit Jeff Medill. Standing in front, trying to get a piece of the puck, in the very least screen Larry Dick. And that's dangerous territory. You see Medill getting struck by the puck. That's where you want to be, but sometimes you put yourself in a tough spot, as Medill did. He's okay.
Medill might go to Kip Miller, who lets this go, and say, Kip, got to keep it a little lower.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Grizzlies now, while controlling the play in the Kansas City zone for much of the power play, have not been able to really put much work on the stick of the pads of Larry Dick, with 43 seconds remaining to play in the, or rather remaining in the power play. 5:08 remaining to play, period number 2. So the second power play unit out now for Denver. Marinucci out there with Nachev and Terry Yake up front. Chris Taylor, Milan Tichy back on the points. Here's Yake. Over to Taylor. Taylor moves in, an odd angle shot, and Dick had no trouble with that. Nachev at the point, had it taken away, and here is a break for Emmons. Emmons all by himself, in on Salo, he fakes, he shoots. Oh, right through the legs, he scores!
What a terrific goal by Gary Emmons. That was a very soft shot. He made Salo commit, and all it took was just a little push of the puck between the legs. Gary Emmons with his second goal and 9th of the playoffs. I'll tell you, Victor Natchev needed to take the body. He didn't. He tried to play the puck. Emmons stripped it free.
That is.
And look at how slow it's pushed across the goal line. Very, very slow indeed.
Yeah, Emmons not exactly streaking down the ice. He looked behind him to see if he was being chased or had anybody with him. Emmons gets his second goal of the night. A shorthanded goal. Denver's still on the power play for another 17 seconds. Here's an opportunity for Dodie Wood. Wood moving in. Tichy watching him. Tichy gets the puck loose to Terrier. Here's Yake out of his own zone. Yake, one of the last additions to this Denver team, and puck sent down into the zone. Almost offside, but puck comes loose. Yake in front. Oh, wide open, Chris Taylor, and he puts it away. Chris Taylor wide open as Larry Dick gambled. He went for the puck. He lost the gamble.
And that a gamble that you don't see taken many times, certainly by somebody who's played as well. But Chris Taylor makes him pay. Brought into the zone by the Grizzlies, and they respond very quickly as Natchev just gets it deep into the zone. Larry Dick behind the net, lets it go. Instead of playing it, found himself out of position. It was pushed in front, closing down on top of the goal, between the circles. Chris Taylor, he gets a perfect pass from Vasiliev, gets it in front, and it's dumped in for the Denver lead, now 4-3.
That is a perfect example as Nicholas Anderson is going to get a penalty after he really nailed the Kansas City player into the board. Well, you're seeing stars right now. Well, Denver has come back to take the lead by a score of 4-3. This is a long way from being over.
You've probably seen commercials for siding from Sears. How dramatically it can change the appearance of a home and keep it looking new without ever painting again. Then you've also
2-minute minor interference at 15, or correction, Nicholas Anderson at 15:43. Contain is off the ice to the locker room. Interference the call.
Well, he was not run into the boards, but he bounced into the boards, and he needs a little bit of a break. We'll see if that was a break for Shalhoub as he moves into the zone. Rochefort watching him. Back to the point. Biakin with a drive. That's knocked down by Kaminsky. Back to the point. It's Scremin. Scremin to Biakin. Biakin with a drive. It's loose in front. Quick shot off the side of the net. And there's going to be another penalty against Denver coming up. Puck along the near side. Kansas City might be wise to give it up to Denver. The puck comes loose. Finally, Tommy Salo picks it up. I'm surprised Kansas City waited so long to turn the puck over to Denver. They wasted probably 10 or 15 seconds on what would have been more time for that two-man advantage. A minute 19 left now in the penalty to Nicholas Anderson. And Kansas City will have the two-man advantage for that minute and 19 seconds as Chris Taylor slowly winds his way to the penalty box. Let's take a look.
Chris Taylor will be off for charging at 16:25. And the two-man advantage now for Kansas City. 1:19 left on Anderson's penalty. That's how long Kansas City has with a two-man advantage. The idea, score quickly before the first penalty expires. You still have the man advantage after that for what is left of the penalty to Taylor.
Well, Mr. Wiley, this is your opportunity to get this one tied up again. A two-man advantage for a minute 19. Adam Gordon has this report.
Yeah, the injury to J.F. Contain not serious. Thank goodness he hit his head along the boards. I asked him if he'll return. He says, "Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss it for the world." He'll be back, guys.
Well, Kansas City trying to get back into this one now. They trail at 4-3 with 3:26 remaining. They have a two-man advantage for the next minute and 5 seconds. Biakin leaves it there for Emmons. Emmons with 2 goals tonight for Kansas City. Scremin over to the far side. Biakin had it in his skates, wanted to tee it up, but he couldn't do it. Here's Shalhoub putting in front. Salo there to cover up, and he holds on with Dodie Wood on the doorstep.
Wood trying to find the loose puck and jam it in. Good play by Tommy Salo, who then has a word with Gary Emmons as they bumped each other. But fine effort by Tommy Salo, not allowed that puck to free up. It'll come right to the net. And Wood is there to try to redirect. Salo makes the save. Wouldn't give it up as Wood kept shoving at it, trying to jam it in.
Well, Doty Wood did exactly what he should have done. He went to that net hoping for the loose puck. He is the tough guy on this team, but in the playoffs, he has been a scorer. He understands that you change the style this time of year. Biakin has it from the faceoff. 45 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Scremin looking for somebody. Oh, his pass to Emmons a little too far as Emmons wanted to one-time it. Emmons has it now. Over to the far side, Biakin. Scremin fakes a shot. Biakin's side of the net. Has Shalhoun. Here's a quick shot wide of the net as there was an open corner, but Scremin's shot whistled wide. Emmons winds up. His drive hit the post of the crossbar. Another opportunity. This one loose in front. Here's Shalhoun to Emmons. Knocked away by Dineen. Puck comes loose to Emmons again. Here's Emmons. 10 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Emmons to Shalhoun. Shalhoun with a quick shot. Salo the save. Shalhoun gets the rebound. Fighting with Rochefort for it. And good work by Shalhoun. The first penalty is over. Denver's still down a man. Biakin to Shalhoun. Far side. Scremin over his stick. Grizzlies working for it. Puck comes loose to Anderson. Oh, and he couldn't pick it up. Nicholas Anderson just couldn't get away with it as Andy Brickley knocked it away. But Doty Wood comes the other way for Kansas City. Wood with a quick shot. An easy save by Salo to the near side. 17 seconds left in the Kansas City power play. Wood back to the point. Here's Wortman with a drive. Oh, and a kick save by Salo. The far side turned out to center by Kaminsky. Woods pass on the far side. They have